Okay, good morning and welcome to Iyun with Benzion. Today we are starting a new parak, second parak of Kesubos, Daf Ted Zion, number 16. I want to fast track to the end of Ted Zion and Aleph, where our Gemara assumes, the Gemara pretty much conclusively proved that Rabbi Yeshua, that Rabbi Gamliel says in the previous Mishnah is normally Bari V'Shema Bari Adif, either not because just by itself, because you have a Cheskes Hakuf or you have a Migo. Rabbi Yeshua didn't agree with him in those cases. He considers the Migo weaker. He didn't hold the Cheskes Hakuf. So the Gemara, the Mishnah says, the first Mishnah in this parak says that if they bring Eidim, that they saw her Yotze's Behinuma going out with a crown and her hair was uncovered when she was going to the chuppah, it's evidence she's a psula, and the Eidim are enough to, because we're not sure, there's no ksuba over here, and she already is widowed or divorced. We want to know, does she get 200 zuz or 100 zuz? She claims she was a psula, he claims she was an almana, or the inheritors claim she was an almana. So how do we decide the matter? So we need Eidim. So the Gemara asks in the bottom, why can't we rely on Rov? Right? When the Rov Nashim Besulos Nisos, 4 lines from the bottom, Kilo also Eidim I have. What does it matter whether Eidim come or not? You have a Rov. What's the Rov? Rov is that most marriages are psulos, right? If you look at any bulletin board anywhere, most of the marriages are psulos. Almanos is less frequent, just in statistics. There's much less second marriages than first marriages. So, what's going on over here? Why don't we rely on Rov? So immediately the Rishonim asked, Tosas asks, he says, Machlokes in Baba Kama between Rav and Shmuel. The case is, someone sells you a shore, an ox, right? An ox could be used for two things. It could be used either for working your field, or you want to shecht it for the meat, a good steak, an ox, a bullock, maybe. I don't know. It obviously wasn't a bullock. It was a wild animal. You find that in Nakhana, you find out it was a goring animal, which basically you can't use it, you can't keep it around anymore. You can't let it work because it's going to start goring. It's going to lose you money. It's going to mazik other people, mazik people's property. You have to shecht it right away. So the Gemara says, Rov people, most people, when they buy something, they buy it to work their field, not to eat it, to shore. So therefore, right, can you get your money back? So Rav says, Holchin Rov. Rov people buy it for working, and this one's not suitable for working. You get your money back. And Shmuel says, no, you can't in Holchin Rov. You can't be mostly Ukimamon Cheskas Mare. The Cheskas Mamon beats out. You can't be mostly with the Rov. So you see, Ein Holchin Rov. So what is the Gemara saying over here? Based on the Rov, most marriages are psulos. Why could you be motzi with the Rov? Rov doesn't work according to Shmuel. We pass him like Shmuel Bedini, Bedini Mamanis. Why don't we pass him like him over here? So Rav says, so Toza says, the Gemara is only asking according to Rav, which is problematic, because the Gemara, we assume, should be asking, leave it the Hilchos, leave the Hilchos pass him like Shmuel. Toza is trying to give a different answer. He says, even though normally in Halchim Mamunach Rov, here it's better than a Rov, because you have a Cheskes Aguf over here, right? When she was born a psula, so we don't know her body was a psula until we know furthermore. So we don't know anything. We don't know any better. So we assume Okmea Chazaka. Cheskes Aguf, she's a psula more than an almana. I mean, now it's really after the fact of the marriage. So question whether you can rely on the Cheskes Aguf. That's what it says over here. That's why the Gemara assumes Rov combined with Cheskes Aguf works out over here. The problem is that with Tosas Yishanim is that really the Gemara tried to say our Mishnah is even like Rav Gamliel, who holds of Cheskes Aguf. And the Gemara says, no, maybe it's really only according to Rabbi Yeshua. And Rabbi Yeshua is Modeh to Rav Gamliel on a different parak. Rav Gamliel is not authoring the Mishnah. Rav Gamliel wouldn't agree in this Mishnah, right? Rav Gamliel maybe would rely on Rov by itself or combined with Cheskes Aguf. And Rabbi Yeshua doesn't hold of Cheskes Aguf. We know from that Yud Beis and Beis, he doesn't hold of Cheskes Aguf, right? In this case, we'll have to discover later on in the Masechta why he doesn't hold of Cheskes Aguf over here. Cheskes Aguf is insignificant to Rabbi Yeshua. So Tosas Shonim's answer, really the Gemara is only according to Rabbi Yeshua at this point. Right? The Gemara originally thought maybe it's according to Gamliel also, but really the Gemara is only according to Rabbi Yeshua. You need Eidim. The Gemara suggests Rov, but he doesn't hold of Cheskes Aguf. So how do you resolve this? So I like to suggest over here that there's two types of Rov. We've mentioned this before, Ruba de Isakman, Ruba de Leisakman. We haven't really defined it perfectly. Ruba de Kaman, like the Gemara in Vamos says, Rov Nashim is Abros Violdos. Most women, if you leave them with a husband, they're going to get pregnant and they're going to have a child. Um, or like this case, or like, I'm sorry, the Gemara in Baba Kama, where people, you don't know what the mindset of the person who sold it to you, right? Did he sell it to you for working the animal, for the using the animal to plow your field, or to shech the animal and to eat the animal? It's based on the mindset of people. You probably have to take a poll of people, right? You have to do some investigation. Ruba de Leisakman is weaker than Ruba de Isakaman, because the Ruba de Leisakman these are both roves that apply to the entire world, right? If you have people here in front of you, it's like we're talking about Daf Ted Vav, where you have 10 people in front of you, or a Sanhedrin, right? Or 10 Chanuyos over there. So it's very easy to figure out which way the rove goes, right? Discovering the rove and deciding and figuring out on which side of the suffix it goes is much easier. That's why Ruba Discipline is better. And also our Mishnah, right? Most marriages are psulos. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, it's not, you don't have to do such intense fact checking to figure out that most marriages are psulos. So that's just the statistics. Those are facts. Those are statistics. So once you have statistics already, I mean, that's easy. Ruba de Isakaman, it's much easier to paskin with a rove when the facts are in front of you, the statistics are in front of you. There's no arguing on the facts. Ruba de Isakaman is a rove in the world. It's a tendency in the world. It's very hard to fact check that, right? It can change from generation to generation. Rove Nashim is Abros Viola. Some generations, a woman left with her husband, they're going to have Bia all the time, and it's very probable they're going to have a child. Some women in some generations are not so attracted to their husbands. I don't know. And also over here, when you sell animals to somebody, in some places or in some generations, depends on the place, depends on the generation, some people actually sell, even most people we'd say in general would sell their animal for working. Some people actually buy it for shechting, right? Some people, in some places, the richer people, they buy it for shechting their animal. They're not farmers. It depends on the place. It's harder to investigate that. When it's hard to investigate it, we don't have the facts in front of us. It's hard to rely on that rule. So that's a Ruba de Leisakaman. So Shmuel says by Ruba de Leisakaman, we don't go after the rove to be Motzi Mamon. Here, Rov Nashim Basulas, I believe, is a Ruba de Isakaman. And Ruba de Isakaman is basically a 90% chance versus an 80% chance. And even Shmuel, who says, Ein Halcha Womanachar Rov, would agree over here that Rov Nashim Basulas Nisos, which is a Ruba de Isakaman, it's stronger. And we would go after that. I hope you enjoyed today's share. See you, Mishnah Yomi, coming up next.